Sudoku puzzle. There's a hard one, but before the hard one, we can warm up with an easier one. So, without further ado, we can jump straight into this. So, if anyone doesn't know how to play Sudoku, you'll probably learn how to by watching me do this. It's quite a fun puzzle and very rewarding once you complete a full puzzle. However, on the harder ones, it is easy to get stuck. So I can see one straight away here. So if we look at the number 8 here, first of all, a quick introduction. The rules of the game are quite simple. You need 1 to 9 in each square, 1 to 9 in each row, and 1 to 9 in each column, with no repetition, of course. So, an easy first example. We have an 8 for this column, an 8 for this column. So in this box, this bottom middle box, the 8 has to be in either these two squares, because this 8 rules out these two. You can't have two 8s in the same column, and this 8 rules out these two squares. So now we know that 8 can only be in these two squares. And then, as you can probably guess, this 8 rules out this square. So, quite simply, we can put another 8 in there. Quite straightforward. And if we try look, if we can get another 8 here, this square or that square, but then we can't narrow it down any further. So maybe we leave the 8s for now. Okay, so the number 2s, looking at this square, we have a 2 here and a 2 here, which rules out these two, these boxes. So the 2 has to be either here or here. And of course we have this 2, which gets rid of this box. Quite straightforward. If we try and look for another 2, doesn't look like we can narrow it down any further. Let's have a look. Five. There's nothing really jumping out at me. I like to have a look first to see if anything is obvious. If not, then we can go through each number more methodically. So it has to be these 3. This 3 gets rid of that one. So it has to be that or that. So that doesn't really help us any further. So I didn't expect to be struggling on the first one, but it seems that I have underestimated level of difficulty this actually is. So looking at this row, this column here, there is a number 3 missing. This 3 rules out that box, this 3 rules out that box. So it leaves 2 possible spots for the number 3. Unfortunately, we don't have a 3 anywhere else to narrow it down further. So that is also a dead end, which is not ideal. Seem to be really struggling here. Okay, I think I'm going to have to go through methodically because I can't see anything else that's jumping out at me. So it looks like we'll have to go back to the drawing board and start with number 1. So 1 means it's either of these 2, nothing to refine. Let's move on to the 2s. 2 and a 2, so it must be these 2. Nothing to refine. Excellent. Not. Wow, this is really quite difficult actually. I don't know if I'm missing something obvious because I cannot see anything. Okay. So I finally found one. Looking at the number 5, so we have a 5 here, a 5 here, in this top box and the middle box. So in the bottom box, the 5 has to be on this side, and the only available spot is this one. So that's quite easy. So now we can hopefully keep the momentum going with the number 5s, if possible. 5 has to be one of these 2. Nothing to refine. Right, it doesn't seem to be. No, okay, so that's another dead end, the number 5s, which is brilliant. Right, let's go back to where we were. We were looking at number 2. 2. Are there any? Do we have any rows that have quite a lot of numbers in? Maybe this row. No, this row. Doesn't look like there's any rows with a lot of numbers in. So this is proving quite difficult. Right, let's move to number 3. So 3, we've got this right column, this left column. So this box has to be the middle. This 3 gets rid of the bottom, so it's one of these 2. Which unfortunately doesn't help us any further than that. We have a 3 and a 3, which means it has to be one of these 2. And then no more 3s to further narrow it down. So again, not very helpful at all, really. present in one of the boxes. So, for example, the number 4 is missing from this row. So it could be one of 6 boxes. However, because the number 4 is in this box, it removes all 3 of those from the possibility of this row. And then this 4 removes this box. So the 4 can either be here or here, which again leaves us, we're only able to narrow it down from 6 boxes to 2. But of course 2 isn't good enough because we need to refine it, we need to narrow it down to 1 box to be able to make any progress. Okay, we've had a look at 4 there, we've had a look at 5, let's go to the 6s. So we only have 2 6s, which really doesn't do us any favours. I don't think there's enough 6s to do anything. Let's skip 6s. So we'll skip the 7s. If we have a look back at the 8s, we have quite a lot of 8s. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So we have 5 of the 8s out of the 9. So looking at this box here, this 8 gets rid of those 2. This 8 gets rid of all of those, so it leaves these 2 boxes open for an 8. Unfortunately, we don't have any more. So again, we've narrowed 6 potentials down to 2, and then we hit a dead end. Which is really, really frustrating. Again, looking at number 9s, and this bottom row, this 9 means it can't be that one, this number 9 means it can't be either of those 2. So we're left with these 2 squares, and then again we have nothing to reduce the 2 potentials down to 1 to be able to get a definitive answer. So that's really not helpful. So we've looked at 9 now as well. Again, nothing is jumping out at all, making the job very difficult. Can't seem to get anything. This was supposed to be the warm-up, which makes me feel even worse about this one, which is actually the hard one. So, just looking at this initially. Oh, okay, right, finally, so 9 and 9. So the 9 has to be here or here. This one removes that one. So we have a number 9 there. Finally, we've got something. This part is so empty, and so is this. This is really going to be a really hard puzzle. Number 8 here. Number 8 covers these. So in this square, these are all removed, and this one, so 8 has to go there. And when you start getting a few, it can deceive you into thinking that you're going to build up momentum, but then that can quickly disappear if you get stuck. So again, we've got 1 here and 1 here, so the 1 has to be here, and there's only 1 box. So quite easily we can put that in. I mean, there's parts of this that are just so empty that this is most likely going to be another stuck 1. Let's see. Is there anything else? Number 3. Number 3 can be that or that. But we can't get it down any further. 7. 1, 4. No. Yeah, this one looks really, really difficult. I don't know if there's any more techniques to this game that I'm not aware of, because on these harder levels, I can get stuck quite easily. Nothing is jumping out at all, really, on this one. Oh, so another close one. So this column here, there's no number 7. So we need to put a 7 in one of these 5 boxes. This 7 gets rid of those 2. This 7 gets rid of that one. So it could be here or here. And then we get stuck, not able to refine it down any further. So, yeah, I mean, oh, excellent, excellent. So, this number 3 removes these top 2 boxes, and this number 3 removes these boxes. So with these all out of the picture, that means that this is the only one left for number 3. Fantastic. So another technique that I will normally use is when I have a box like this, where there's some gaps, but all the gaps are in one row, leaving one left. I will look down this entire row to see if something is not in this box, but is in this row. Column. For example, if the 1 wasn't there, and you had a 1 here, you could get rid of all 3 of these, and then it would have to go in that one. However, the 183 these three are all in a row with one left. However, the only numbers you can use to rule that out is 1, 8, 7, 9. 1, 8. Oh, the 7's not there. Ah, excellent. So that's worked a treat. So there isn't a 7 in this box. That 7 gets rid of all those 3, so that has to be a 7. Excellent. And if we follow it down, the 7 has to be here or here. Unfortunately, we can't refine any further. But we did get another 1, so I'm happy with that. So now looking at this column, we only have 3 numbers remaining. So let's see if we can get rid of some. So we've got a 1, we've got a 2 missing. So can we get rid of anything? So the 2 gets rid of that box, which leaves that 1 and that 1. But then we can't refine any further. So unfortunately we can't get the 2. So if we move 3, 4, then 5's missing. So we'll look for the 5's 5. It gets rid of that box. And that 5 gets rid of that box. Excellent. So that has to be a 5. Now, let's have a look at the 5, see if we can get another 5. That closes it down to either that one or that one for a 5. But then we can't get any further. So let's have a look what else is missing from here. This column, it says 6. The last number is a 6. We don't have a 6 on the bottom and we don't have a 6 on the top. So we can't get that column, unfortunately, but we did get a few numbers. Just seeing if anything else jumps out with me. Nothing is jumping out. So this box is quite empty, but this 3 gets rid of the top, this 3 gets rid of the bottom, and this 3 gets rid of that one. So that gets us down to 2. However, we get stuck. And we are unable to refine it any further. Which isn't great. Okay, maybe it's time. Because this is the harder puzzle out of the 2. However, I've actually got more numbers from the harder puzzle. But nevertheless, hopefully that's warmed me up a bit. Maybe we can get some more numbers from here. So looking at the first column, we've got 1 missing. That one gets rid of that. That one gets rid of that. So it leaves this or this, which reduces it down to yeah, that's not going to work. So going into a second level, now that we know that the 1 is either here or here, while we can't establish which square the 1 is in, we know that regardless of which one of these squares it is, it rules this square out, because if it's here, this is ruled out, or if it's here, this is still ruled out. Oh, that number 1 rules that out anyway, I'm not talking about rubbish. this is just, this one's not working for me at all. Number two. Oh, so close. There isn't a number 3 in this column. This 3 removes that square. This 3 removes that square. Which leaves this one on that one. But again, we don't have another 3 to refine it any further. Which is really frustrating. Okay. So, I think I need some more warm-up. I need more practice with these. So this puzzle will be continued. I will not let it defeat me. I will also not look at the answers. Not that I could anyway, because this was taken off the internet on images. So I don't even have the answer. So this puzzle will never, I'll never be able to cheat really. So there's just, it's just giving me nothing. I remember I used to go on, well, I still do go on a Sudoku app. I could do the easy, medium and hard puzzles. But I only ever ran into difficulty on the expert ones. So I assumed that I was quite good at them, unless this is an expert puzzle, it just doesn't look like it is. But that doesn't mean it isn't. Just trying to see if I can piece anything else. No, okay, right. There's going to be a part 2 for this. If you want to comment, if you can see an answer, you can see what number that